Hello, everybody. It's Rogan. I am outside, sitting in the swing in my ridiculously picturesque backyard here at Labyrinthium, Ohio. I, I'm really just making videos and marking time, trying to get my head together with the depression problem. But if I'm going to be doing that, I thought I might share something useful or at least interesting. Wanted to go straight to why I think video games are bad for you. Back to one of my favorite hobby horses, I was on Facebook and told somebody games are for children. I often say that, or at least whenever games come up. But it's not that I'm dismissive of games as games so much as I think it's dangerous and bad that they've replaced our storytelling culture so thoroughly. They've supplanted so much of what young people consume as storytelling. So first, these are my ideas. I can't possibly be as smart and original as that implies, though. Somebody else must have had these ideas at some point. But the first point to make is that storytelling is neither truth nor untruth. Stories are a third path, a third way of understanding language. And in fact, I believe our minds are hardwired to accept storytelling as moral and ethical education. Once you're told that you're paying attention to a story, once you're in story listening mode, you're ready to learn lessons and draw conclusions, make inferences, see things as allegorical and representational rather than literally true in any sense that matters. If somebody's telling you a story, you don't worry about whether it's a lie or whether it's the truth. You're parsing the story for story. And we all unconsciously, subconsciously, preconsciously understand that a story is any story, from an after-dinner anecdote to an episode in the Bible to a novel, a play. Any story confers its own gear switching. As soon as you realize you're listening to a story, you're consuming a story, you stop caring about whether it's true or not true. Because stories are neither true nor not true. They're a third way. They're a third kind of linguistic communication, for lack of better words. And the examples I always use that are sort of extreme and out at the end of the limb to illustrate this point. Well, the Bible is a good one. You ask people who've read and studied the Bible across the entire spectrum of such people, and it's a broad spectrum. It's a deep pool. Whether or not the Bible is true, literally true, well, it's a complicated question without a straight answer because it's stories. I don't know that anyone else has articulated that way, that it's because it's stories, we understand it as stories and therefore not as truth or untruth. Another example I like to use is stories your grandfather used to tell. You or someone you know had a grandpa told great stories. When the grandson says, "Grandpa used to tell this story when I was a kid," if somebody asks him, is it a true story? He'll get puzzled and maybe flustered and annoyed, because whether or not the stories one's grandfather told are true is never the point. There is always a point to the story. But the point of a story is never its real world verifiable truth as some kind of reportage. That's a different thing. And I believe we're built to do this by design. I think that our brains, whoever built them, God or aliens or whoever, our minds are built to consume and imbibe storytelling as moral and ethical education. This is where we learn lessons. Stories are always didactic, if they're not intentionally, consciously didactic. Then the story and the listener will find some way to read and understand the story as educational or didactic, a way to draw a lesson from it, a moral to the story, as they say. So yeah, that's the first point. I guess 6 minutes is enough for a video, right? Yeah. All of us tell the truth sometimes, and all of us lie sometimes. Telling stories is neither of those things. It's a different third thing. And that's point one on the way to explaining why video games are bad.